In this video, I discuss 5 things I wish I knew before starting out as a graphic designer. So I've been in the industry for over 8 years now as a brand and graphic designer. So it's been a fun journey. But when I first started out, I made a lot of mistakes. I messed up. I had some projects that failed and clients that got angry and the whole gist of it, you know. And that's just part of the game. It's part of learning and growing and developing and building yourself as a person. But there's 5 things that I wish I knew before I started out, and hopefully they can help you so you can avoid the same mistakes. Number 1 is work doesn't magically come to you. A lot of people think that if you put up a portfolio or you post a bit of content, that clients will just come running at your door knocking to pay you $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever money you want. But the reality is it doesn't work like that. It takes a long time of building your social proof, your reputation, your credibility, and building your network as well. And that's what happens when over many years of developing yourself, putting out your work, doing client work and doing freelance projects. It happens over a long time, and then it starts coming in naturally and you start attracting clients. And it happens over a long period of time naturally where you start attracting clients. It takes consistency of uploading, videos and content, because that's what happened to me. I was posting content online, sharing about branding, and then people started, noticing me, and I became more discoverable. And because I had like a website or a blog and lots of content, when people search stuff online, then I pop up, right? And because they see me everywhere, then it builds that trust factor. And then it allows me to get more and more clients. So I wish I knew that it was going to take a lot more effort and building my personal brand earlier. I would have done it even more earlier than 2015, 2016. But it is what it is. But remember, work doesn't magically come. You need to build your portfolio, your brand presence, build your network, and then work will start attracting slowly over time, naturally. But there's also other ways like reaching out to people and stuff. But I wish I knew to do that. Number 2 is developing business skills. It's so crucial to understand things like how to negotiate, how to pitch a proposal, how to deal with sales, how to manage projects. All these questions, which is nothing to do with design, it's more about admin stuff and business stuff, is essential to actually running a full-time freelance business. And I wish I knew that I had to learn all these other skills. I did learn them pretty early, so I now understand a lot of the concepts, because definitely design skills are easy to learn and they're easy to master. But when it comes to like communication with clients and contracts and proposals, they take a little bit longer to understand and get used to. So learning business skills is important as a designer. To not be like everybody else, you need to understand those things to grow as a designer. Third thing I knew is that you need to have intentional practice. You don't want to just practice without having a purpose or a goal. You actually need to sit down and watch a tutorial or watch a course and actually apply it straight away. That's how you retain most of the knowledge. And that's what I used to think. Like I used to just do practice and do things, but I never really set time to sit down for 3 hours and just do a project or learn a new skill or something like that. This was early on, but then later I realized it's I need to have intentional practice every week or a couple hours a day where I set a time block to just sit down and actually work on a project. But once I started learning and doing intentional practice, my skill set just kept growing at a rapid rate. I would learn skills really fast because I would learn and then apply. I wouldn't just let it sit. I'll just take action and learn it. For example, I learned Webflow about, I think, over a year ago now. And I watched a course, and then I was like, okay, I built my portfolio, started using it. I started doing a couple client websites, and then now I understand how to use Webflow, right? But initially I didn't know, but I learned that new skill. So make sure you set time to practice with a purpose, with a goal. If it's logo design or branding, just sit down and make sure you do that every week. The 4th thing was the magic reveal doesn't work. So when you present, what the magic reveal is when you have a client and you work on a project, right? For example, it could be a logo design project. What I used to do was I would exchange over email the data points and the objectives and goals and content and all that stuff. And then I would go off and design, and then I would have round 1, I would send it over an email with my points, and then I would expect them to love the design and come back with, you know, minimal feedback. But then I realized that every time I did that, it just was bad. It wasn't working because I wasn't showing my process. I wasn't showing how I got to those decisions. I didn't get to talk over the phone or on Zoom. And I realized that I started having calls, and that made a big difference. Because doing the magic reveal, there's going to be misalignment, because the client's expectations is one thing, and then your subjectivity is another thing. So you need to merge the two by having objectivity, and you do that by having a process. And over time, I started developing my creative process, which really made the difference. Like, honestly, every time now, it's like I usually have 1 or 2 revisions, like sometimes none, because I've hit the nail on the head with the objective, and we have an understanding of the client needs and the user. And it leads me on to number 5, is that the power of having a process. You need to develop a process that is solid, that you don't mess with. You know, have your policies in place. For example, part of my process is that I take 50% up front. That's just policy. You know, I take the upfront payment, then we go through a discovery session, and that can take 2-3 hours, right? So that's part of delivering excellent quality every time with my client. You know, and having that solid process, it's going to make sure that you have consistent results with each client, no matter what industry or what type of project it is, and it has allowed me to just give the better results. And it just makes for a smooth project. You know, I don't want things to go wacky and chaotic. You want to have order, you want to make sure it's smooth, and having a process has really changed the game. But when I first started out, you know, it was all over the place. I just figured things out as I was going. But now I have a proper process that each project I do, the client has to agree to the process. If not, then see you later. But anyway, so those are my 5 things I wish you knew as a starting graphic designer. I hope you can apply some of these things and actually start growing as a freelance graphic designer as well. I really appreciate your time. If you are someone who needs a bit more help and you want a community to grow and flourish as a designer, you can actually join the Mura Academy membership. I have a link down in the description below. You can only join, it's only $67 a month, and you get weekly calls with me. You get all my courses. We actually have monthly design challenges as well, where I give you a brief and you get to design something. I bring on experts as well, where we talk about, you know, strategy or sales or design, and we do a whole bunch of other stuff in the academy. So if you want to take a look, you can check it out. There's a 7-day free trial. So click on the link in the description, you'll see it there. But really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to smash the like button to let me know if you like this content or not, and subscribe for more content on branding, design, and graphics. So thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video.